wait for this man for the longest while. 1999. Last year it was High Mass. This year he's going in a new city. You know what city demanding? A General City. Would you please put your hands together with a nice tempo? Stomp your feet, clap your hands. Let's welcome David. Brother. Hey. Hey, super. Hey. Oh, better. Good morning. Are you ready for Carnival?
Yes, Mr. Ready.
And a very good evening to you, and welcome to Politics 101. David Hines here on Wednesday evening. We are going a little bit too quickly. It's Wednesday night, and it's Politics 101. Welcome to you all, wherever you're joining us from.
The rivers flow to this naked isle, bringing fear and pain, but also a brand new style. And of all these rivers that shape this land, two mighty ones move like a sculptor's hand. And today those hands across the land, man, they're still landscaping. And there's no doubt we can work it out, there is no escaping. But as the river flows, there are those who will change its passage. So every common man got to understand up and send a message. But put up your hand if you understand now. Come! See how we move it, watch how we groove it, see how we float in style. Oh yes, one lovely nation under a groove. The Ganges don't need the night. Them boys with the hidden agendas and the mind benders, they will always do their do. The various smart men and politicians, well, them could come along too, cause we moving with a power and glory. See how we float in style. Oh yes, one lovely nation heading to salvation. The Ganges don't need the night. Differences there will always be, so that you'll be you and I'll be me. But that's the damn thing, self, that makes this country sweet. Partner, bring your drum, let me start to beat. Don't mind them politics, politicians. Oh, in the politics situation. We don't chumming on them, cause we know the story. So let them fight if they want in this land of the deferred glory. Put up your hand if you understand now. See how we move it, watch how we groove it, see how we float in style. Oh yes, one lovely nation under a groove. The Ganges don't need the night. Them boys with the hidden agendas and the mind benders, the people don't take in front. Oh yes, the various smart men and politicians can come along if they want, cause we move it with a power of glory. See how we float in style. Oh yes, one lovely nation under a groove. The Ganges don't need the night. Hear me now. The river Thames, the Yangtze crew, the river Jordan and the Danube blue, the Mississippi come down to join the fun as the Orinoco walks up the Amazon. And to this Irie Trinidad, well, they all discover that this Irie Trinidad going to be the lover. she hugged them up and said, come on, meet my little sister. And life became the carnival of a brand new culture. But put up your hand if you understand now. See how we move it, watch how we groove it, see how we flow in style. Oh yes, one lovely nation under a groove. The country's standing the night. Let me now. Them boys with the hidden agendas and the mind benders, they will always do their do. And now that we hold in hand, trying to the promised land, well, them could come along too. Cause we moving with a power and glory. Yeah. See how we float in sky. Oh yes, one lovely nation heading to salvation. We got peace and need the night. Thank you very much. God bless you. Good night.
Reverend Michael Runner, they can't please everybody. Huh? Hey, Reverend Runner. Let's do it.
Thank you very much. I remember growing up under PNM and DLP, right up to PNM and UNC, and these boys can't sort out the problem yet. They can't sort out the problem yet. I personally find it's insulting. Insulting. You see, differences, there will always be. So, partner, you could be you, and I could be me. But then that's the damn thing, self, that makes this country sweet. Partner, bring your drum. Let me start to beat. Don't mind the politician. I mean the politics situation. That's why we jamming on them, cause we know the story. So let them fight if they want in the stand of the big word glory. Oh yeah. See how we move it, watch how we groove it, see how we plug and style. One lovely nation under a groove. We got east and the night. Them boys with the hidden agendas and the mind benders, they will always do their do. The various smart men and politicians, well, them could come along too. Cause we moving with a power and glory. See how we flow in style, yeah. One lovely nation under a groove. In a peace and in the night. Thank you very much. Good night. God bless you.
Wow. David Michael Rudder, the philosopher of Calypso. Our philosopher. It's what makes us a great nation and a great region. Our ability to speak in our tongue and to define ourselves to the world and for the world. That we are not defined by those who feel that power belongs to them alone, the various smart men and politicians. They will do their do, but we the people, we're always moving with the power, the real power and the glory. See how we float in style. The Ganges has met the Nile. The accident of history or the design of history has brought us to these shores. And we, all of us, have contributed to its steep history. We came at different times, in different circumstances, but we all came on a boat or a ship. And we came to these shores, and our duty is to make it a better place, a human place. Guyana, our Caribbean, for all intents and purposes, is ours to humanize so that our children and grandchildren can tenant a country and a civilization that they're proud of. We have moved from the days when we kept farewell parties for people going to America and England and Canada. Today we don't do that anymore because going to America and England and Canada doesn't cut us off from our Guyana, our Caribbean. Tonight, as we do every night and every day, we commune together, those of us inside the borders of Guyana and those of us outside the borders of Guyana, into a borderless Guyanese and Caribbean civilization. Tonight we come on to talk with the outgoing mayor of Georgetown, Lord Mayor, as we said in the old days, Mayor Ubraj Narine. We'll talk tonight about his experience because this experience is a unique experience. I saw a mayor when those who think they're all powerful sought to remove mostly women of the darkest among us, and a mayor of not of that ethnicity or that caste, prostrating on the concrete, the cold, dark earth, in defense of those people, those women. And he pleaded from deep within his Guyanese belly He asked the question of his God and his countrymen and women. Why are you treating these people like this? Is it because of their ethnicity? I saw that. And when they locked him up, I went in front of the court because I felt I had to be there. Here was a brother doing something that lifts us, not just as a country or a region, but as a civilization. Lifted us. Whatever else he did during his tenure, he will be remembered by that moment because it said something about his integrity. It says something about his presence of mind. And it says something about his consciousness of who he is and who we are. We come on here tonight, another young man shot down by the police, like a dog in the street at Beirut. It was those ordinary people of that part of our country who saw the war in the Middle East. And they named their new settlement Beirut. It shows how hooked in our people are with what's happening in the world. They name their new settlement Beirut. And as we in the Caribbean often do, we put our spin to it and we call it Beirut. But the original name is Beirut. And we watch in shock as yet another son shot down by the police, heaped into the back of a police van against the protestations of people taken to die. How many times have we seen that? How many times, to quote the people of Beirut who were out there yesterday afternoon, how many times have we seen young black men shut down as though they're not humans? I don't know everything about the life of that young man. He must have been in trouble with the police. But that is why we have the police. So that he would be treated with dignity and as a human being. That he would be presumed innocent like others until found guilty. We expect that he would be apprehended like others and afforded the letter and the spirit of the law like others. But unlike others, he was shot down in the street. by the state. We come on here tonight with the DPP signaling that one of the powerful will be given all the courtesies of the law and the system, that the file of an offending minister we are hearing has been sent back to the police, either for deeper investigation or for more investigation. Oh, the care. Oh, the caring and concern in DPP. Is it the rule or is it the exception? We come on here tonight, the people of Plaisance, Good for Wacton and Sparring Dam, give no notice to remove from the roadway or from the embankment where the government intends to build a 4-lane highway. They were given 7 days to get out of there. They brought their story to the rest of the world. And the powerful man went into their village yesterday, pushed past them, and went into a building. And when the people attempted to go into the building to talk to him, they were stopped. They couldn't go in. And apparently, while they were outside, locked out in the rain and the sun and the elements, he was in there talking about what they want to talk about. And he unilaterally, without consultation with them, who were right there, decided that he will change the 1 week to 6 months. All right. But the people are there. Why not go out and ask them if 6 months is okay? If 6 weeks will be okay? If a year would be okay? No. You unilaterally decided for them that 6 months. And then you left surrounded by your police escorts, and you left them. That is the kind of government and governance we have. This beautiful nation, where we ought to be floating in style, is not yet there, but we're going to get there. Welcome to Politics 101. Tonight we are going to be talking about our story. And we're going to be talking with His Worship, the outgoing mayor of Georgetown, Pandit Ubraj Narine. He was here a long, long time ago when we first started this program. But he's here in the flesh tonight. Good evening, Pandit. Good evening, Mr. Mayor.
Good evening, Dr. David Hines, and thank you to have me on your program. And the viewers out there, pleasant good evening to all of them as well.
Thank you very much, Pandit Narine. Let me get straight to a question that I have always wondered about. When you were approached and asked to take up this position as mayor of Georgetown, you obviously agreed. Why you agreed to take up this position?
Thank you very much, Mr. Hines, for that. Dr. Hines, sorry.
No, go right ahead, Mr. Hines.
I respect my elders.
Yes.
I look, the the party that am a part of, that I'm a member of, I never asked for this position. I was asked to run for a councillor in my area, and I did so. And when that meeting held, my mentor, which is Walter Lawrence, said, "Look, in that meeting with then Minister Amna Ali as well, both ministers, said, look, you will be elected the next mayor." I said, look, I never been consulted. I don't know of this. And this is the first time I will sit in a public office since I leave school. I work with myself. I never work with anyone. All I achieved by myself, working with myself. And I make the 28 to 1, my Bible, my Quran, my Gita. And I read and I study it. And there was a lot of struggle here at the city council. And I get elected as mayor. I was elected as mayor. And from there, I tried to lean, I'll be honest to the public, for help. And one lady said to me when I called her for that help, for the advice, that you're a leader, lead. And she hung her phone up. And from there, I take the bull by its horn and I start to lead. I start to call myself a leader and still a leader, and start go there, reach the people, reach the staff, and get to know the books and how to go about to run this council. It was a tough job. Um, so it was not an easy job, but I'm grateful for the experience, and I'm grateful to my political party and all who supported me. And I must make mention that many people may talk bad about David Granger, the past president, but David Granger places trust in me with the capital city of this country. The then Minister Vola Lawrence, Amna Ali, Minister Bulkan, all of them place their trust in me. Joe Harman, the then opposition leader, they never called me a day and give me political direction. None of them ever done such a thing. And I'm proud to say whatever I did at this council, I did it on my own behalf. And the council find favor of many of the decision and policies that was put forward. And I work with my council, I work with my deputy mayor, I work with all of them. And both political party, the PPP, I place them on the finance committee too, which never happened before in this council. I placed them as a member of the finance committee, which they never attend the meeting, but they receive all the agenda, and they know everything about the finance committee, the standing committee.
Handed Ubraj Narine, outgoing mayor of Georgetown, saying it here. And one thing that jumped out at me was his testimony that he was never called by the party and given political direction. He was never called by the party and given political direction. And I think that is instructive. Mayor, you were in charge of the capital city, and they told you to lead, and you decided, as you said, to take the bull by the horn, and that you were going to lead. But we have a local government system where the local authorities, in this case the municipality of Georgetown, is not autonomous. That ultimately most of the finance would come from the central government. And what was your experience in dealing with the central government? First, a central government under the APNU AFC coalition, and then a central government under the PNC. Explain to us if there was a difference or your experience was the same with both central governments?
Well, I can say this to the viewers, and I make mention on this one with Freddie Kisun show recently, that under the APNU AFC, I took office in 2019. Confidence took place in 2018 on the David Granger administration. When I took office in 2019, I was able to garner from government coffers about 4 to 500 million Guyana dollars they give to the city in 2019. That is how I were able to buy two garbage trucks, tractors, put different system in place in the tax department, upgrade the system as well, buy different device and so on for that department. So we did a lot in 2019. Coming down to 2020 when the PPP took office, oh, that was a miserable and hell of my life. To date, I'm leaving, I'm demitting this office. The PPP caused me hell in this office. um, Stifle, stagnate, control the administration of this council through the local government commission, not giving us the right to subvention. 150,000 US cannot do anything for the city. That is 30 million Guyana dollars. And the structure you rightfully said, our local government structure in this country, it is not that autonomous or independency that given to us, because the government alter it by forming different agency and different commission to suppress the local government laws, so they give themselves some kind of authority to intervene in a kind of way to the elected council to make parallel decision. So the interference of central government is highly in the local democratic organs in this country. So the APNU had helped the city tremendously, and there is pictures, there are videos you can see where the city was far away in a much different state. And while the PPP office withheld the money, withheld all the resources from the municipality of Georgetown, and they decide to spend the money for their own purposes, which the city council never been consulted with. And the vice president even make mention in it in his campaign that he don't want to work with the opposition council. If the PPP get controlled over the city council, they will see tremendous development, and cash will be flowing to the PPP controlled city council. And this is something for the Guyanese people. Think of what this man is saying to the Guyanese, a democratic nation. The vice president is saying these things to the Guyanese people. The diplomatic community is there. They're listening. They're hearing what in a democratic nation, what this vice president is saying to this nation. It's totally dictatorship, communism, and it's total control of people' life in this country.
The mayor of Georgetown, outgoing mayor of Georgetown, Pandit Ubraj Narine, saying it there. And I noted what the Pandit just said. I noted the vice president and made it very clear. You have to elect a PPP council for the central government to work with them. So what was hidden all the time, he has made it very clear that that is the way they operate. Mr. Mayor, let me take you in another direction. Part of the funding for local government obviously comes from taxes. And one would imagine Georgetown is a big city, lots of businesses. So the tax base of the city should be relatively healthy tax base. But you have complained that there has been difficulty in collecting taxes. Walk us through that whole tax thing. Why is it that the city does not benefit from the tax base as it should?
Okay, let me explain this, which many people don't. We must admit that many people don't understand this local government system.
Hmm.
Yeah, because people still asking me about local government. What is the purpose? What local government? So let me explain this to the viewers and yourself, your good self, sir. The tax system in the city of Georgetown, with the properties and all the high-end building and all these investors and so on coming here, you have properties in the commercial zone of the city of Georgetown pay $60,000 years, but they rented that building for 60 and 70,000 US a month, right? You have government officials who are ministers also have property in the city, rented their property for that amount of money a month, but pay the city council less than 200,000 a year in taxes. Now, when you have businesses like that paying 60,000, 100,000, 200,000 a year in taxes, that is no money. Because government, successive government, let me not be selective. The APNU and AFC were in office, was in office, yes. Let me not be selective. There are many successive government who failed to do revaluation of the entire country, including the city. The last valuation had done since 1996. Since 1996. So you still have a property with value. So you can able to have a huge business and pay $50,000 a year in taxes. 2 billion, $2.4 billion Guyana dollars cannot run the city council because there are many more increase of services as investors come to the city, as the buildings going up in the city. There are many more additional services. The garbage flow will increase, drainage capacity will decrease. We will need to alter drainage system in the city. More in our health department, more staff and different equipment will need in our health department in the city. The city constabulary will need more police or ranks to police this the city. Vehicles will need to be increased. So the capacity that we have at this point of time cannot and will not render the services to the city of Georgetown because lack of resources, both finance and human resources. And unless we alter that and have a revaluation in the city and allows every businesses and every residents to pay the fearful tax to the city council, then we will be able to have a balanced system where the city benefits while the services will be very productive to the citizen and businesses in the city of Georgetown. So let me make that very clear.
Hmm. Mr. Mayor, I saw you made some comments in the press, and you said that the government, the central government itself, owes the city millions of dollars. Explain that to us. How
Well,
come they owe the city so much money, and why is it the city is not able to collect that money?
well, I will say this much to you that if you have a government and the government claim to be a one Guyana and a government claim to follow laws, as the Attorney General always say about the laws, and he don't follow one thing, right? I don't want to go to him right now. It's a different story. The the central government don't honor the obligation, the lawful obligation. Let me use the word lawful obligation to the capital city of Guyana, which is Georgetown. Transport and Harbor hold the city council over $100 million. GPL owed the city council $10 billion, while
Mm.
city council owed GPL $3 billion. I met with GPL like 3 times and said, look, let me do a set off exchange of check. I pay you $3 billion, you pay me $10 billion. So we have a set off. GWI, same nonsense. They owe the city council. But this happened only during PPP time, because in APNU AFC time, GWI used to give us like $5 million to $10 million per month to ease, to clear it off easy, right? GWI. GPL, well, myself and Patterson had discussion to see how we will get it fixed. And the GPL also, in the APNU time, AFC time, also we uh, make they are obligated to pay for the tall pole on the parapet of the council, $25 per one of that tall pole, the electricity pole in the city. So all of those things was discussed. The vessels that landed in the port of Georgetown, we asked for $10,000 per vessel, while city council gets zero. The GRA ought to remit 5% of every vehicle that registered in the city of Georgetown. We get zero. So all of those are monies that government owe to the city council, but government yet want the city council to do a golden service to the residents and businesses in the city, while they suffocate and stifled and stagnate and cut the arms and the legs of the city council in all these directions. So when the vice president make mention of all of these things, he have to look in a mirror. He have to look at himself in a mirror to know who he are talking to. Who is he really talking to? Is he talking to himself? Because I want to say to the public that the Guyanese people is not that foolish. Don't insult our intelligence in this 24th century. We believe we are wiser and we are great people, and we will make different decisions at the elections to come. And you know, many people got this thing about Barajagdeo. Barajagdeo is no god to this country. Barajagdeo did his part, and a well harsh part to this country, and he's still doing. He's still doing. And many people don't analyze this vice president that we have. Analyze him. Listen to his words. Listen to his action. See his actions. It is a dangerous leadership of this country. Dangerous.
Dangerous leader, dangerous leadership of this country. Pandit, I want to ask you two questions. In the beginning, I recounted that incident a few months ago when they were attempting to remove the vendors from in front of the hospital, and you went out there and you put your body as a barricade between the central government and those vendors. For me, that was a riveting moment because it says something about the possibilities of our country and what we can do to heal our country ethnically and racially, that you demonstrated that perhaps the best way of your commitment to a multiracial country is for you of one ethnicity standing up when people of another ethnicity are being bullied. And for me, that is perhaps the test of what multiracialism is. What is it that went through your mind as you took that action there to demonstrate to our Guyana that another world is possible?
I will say this much. I know history of my country, and that is something I urge the Ministry of Education to introduce in our schools in this country. The young people don't know the history of this country, and that's why I give respect to all ethnicity. All. Because without the Chinese, the Africans, the Indians, we cannot live in harmony. And we must respect each other. I respect the Africans. I respect my Afro Guyanese brothers and sisters. I'll tell you why. The African came to Guyana as slaves, while I come as indentured labor. And when you look at the history of parade ground, Parade ground is a sacred ground where the slave was taken in the colonial days, beheaded, arms take off, and they were crucified on that ground. And the governor then used to come out at the state house at the patio and look what is going on. Without the slaves, Georgetown wouldn't be here. And many people don't know the Lamaha Canal and all the primary canals in the city was dug by slaves with shovels, not an excavator. So when we came as indentured labor, it was much more easier for us as Indians because we was getting a pay, a small something, while the 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 African or my black brothers and sisters wasn't getting anything but beaten. So I am not picking up for the African, I'm not picking up for the Indians or any other race in this country, but we must know the history. So when you treat the African people like that, who are trying to, who I think should live in a more better condition, right? In a more better condition, and who should, the government should really help these single mothers that trying to live out there, trying to send the kids to get a better education at the university and the schools. The government, you have a Ministry of Social Protection who in charge of human development to see how to help these single parents out there. And now you go in and bulldoze and remove the caravans like that. They're crying to me on the telephone, Mr. Mayor, what will we do? What would we do after this? The, the, the only thing at that point of time, I was thinking as a leader to save the people, my people in the city. As a leader, all that I took up to serve the people in the city is to throw myself before the truck. And I can do it again. And I can do it again, not for only the African people, my African brothers and sisters. I can do it for the Indians. I can do it for the Chinese and the Portuguese and all other ethnicity, because I believe we have a right to this country. This country don't belongs to Irfan Ali. It don't belongs to Jagdev. It don't belongs to Bishop Edgil. It belongs to me and all other citizens who live here, who voted here. The city, the country belongs to us. They're just custodian of our money and our assets out there. And they must listen to us. And that is what the PPP failed in 23 years. And they're going to fail again. Because let me say this to you. I walked Lane Avenue yesterday. And Lane Avenue said to me, the PPP had paid them to come to the rally. Gave them t-shirts to wear to go to the rally. And they went. And they take part. But you know what I said to them? They said to me they know where their heart is. And what they faced in 23 years under the leadership, and still the leadership of the Vice President Jagdeo. So when we want to speak on serving people of this country, serving the nation, and when we want to speak on one Guyana, we must able to represent all Guyanese. And I did that at the public hospital, and I will do it again. It's not like what the Vice President or the PP does. Go to Region 2, go to Region 6, and go to Region 5, where the Indians are. And you know what they does there? They brainwash them with 150 cash grant. Brainwash them that they'll set up a committee and give them a 2-bag fertilizer. They'll brainwash them and give them a little job somewhere. For what? The X to the cup. The Indian people need to think differently in this country, because while you are being given that, study what your children and grandchildren will get in the coming year with the oil and gas industry. Are you going to still accept a hamper from the Ministry of Social Protection? Are you going to still accept 150,000 cash grant, which is your own money? Are you going to still accept a 4-day-a-week job at a school where you deserve more? Are you going to still accept all of these things, what the people come and tell you? Are you going to still accept $3,000 bag for paddy? Are you going to still accept that they're going to fool you, open the sugar industry? The sugar industry don't have any benefit for this country. Are you going to still accept these nonsense, these false and fake promises of the People's Progressive Party by the Vice President to manipulate you in this direction when you have a mind of your own, when you want betterment in this country? Speak on policies, people. Speak on policies on both political party, both the APNU, AFC, PPP. We must come with proper policy to tell our people in this what you're going to do for them. Don't make promises that what you would not fulfill for them. Tell us what you're going to give us and our children and grandchildren. And I speak clearly and generally on all political party here. I don't want to define anything else beside on policies that what you're going to give to us as a people. And the party that I'm a part speak on this policy. The leader, the founder leader, spoke on it when Cherry Jagan crippled it when he took office in 1992. We must know history of this country, Dr. Hinds.
We must know the history of this country. Pandit Ubraj Narine here tonight with a comprehensive interview, both in his role as mayor and councillor before that, and his role as a citizen of this, our country. Now, Pandit, I'm going to ask you a question here and you can refuse to answer it. And I will respect that. Recently, we saw members of the city council from your side of the political aisle going over to the PPP. At least two of them, one independent. And there has been a lot that has been said about that. I want to ask you directly. Did any agent of the PPP approach you about crossing the floor to them?
Oh yes, at Marriott. Yes, they approached me many times. But let me say this to you. I will never sell my soul. The PPP can give me $100 million, but I will never cross floor to go with the PPP. I have many reasons. I don't believe in dictatorship. I believe in democracy. I believe in democracy and a Congress to elect your leader. I don't believe for a 15 or 20 individual to sit around a table to select a leader. And that is what I love the PNC, the People's National Congress reform about. There's a constitution which dictates the leadership of that party, where the leadership are bound to call Congress according to the constitution. And if any leadership fail to do so, therefore, that leadership would not have my support at all. Because if you cannot demonstrate democracy in your own political party, therefore you should not speak on democracy in your nation. So the PPP approaches me many times, but I said to them, my party is a democratic one, while yours, it is not a democratic party.
Mayor, I'm going to press you a little bit further. And I don't want you to call names. I don't want you to call places. I don't want you to get into any of those details. But give our audience a sense of how they approach you. You know, like what is it they say to you in trying to entice you?
Oh, well, one minister called me and said to me that, Mayor man, why you don't shut your mouth? We go fix you up. So I said to him that what you meant by fixing up got many, you can define fixing up in many ways. You can kill me, right? So he said, no, you mean other things. You don't want your concession? And I said, look, concession for me, it's my entitlement And if you don't want to give me it, I would not obliged or obligate or bow to you for a concession. Why should I? Why should I make myself low? Therefore, the people I represent must subject themselves to you? No, they believe in the mayor, and I will not subject myself to you. Next time the Marriott, one of the senior politicians reached me and said, "Look, mayor, you should remain mayor there. Come over, and we will put you back there because your party wouldn't put you back. We will put you back as mayor. Come over." Why should I bargain and sell my soul for a seat, a political seat, which I do not own, which my integrity and morality and my self-respect is more valuable than anything else? I would never do that. So I will continue to represent the people of this country, not only the city now, and I will continue to speak out on democratic decision, injustice, where the government demonstrate many times and discriminated many times among the Guyanese people of this country.
Among the Guyanese people of this country, Mayor graphically laying out the enticements by the PPP to him. Mr. Mayor, you're mayor of a city that includes not just Africans, although Africans are the majority, but there are lots of Indians and Portuguese, Chinese, even a sprinkling of Amerindians who live in the city. What has been your experience as you move across the city during your tenure? What has been your experience? We know what your experience is when you move in African communities, but tell us, what's your experience when you go into those enclaves where Indian Guyanese are? How did they, and how have they
I am
responded to
I,
you?
I am welcome anywhere, Dr. Hines. I'm
Mhm.
welcome anywhere. I can go into a temple, Hindu temple. I can go anywhere. And if you follow my page, his worship page, you will see only recently I've been to a temple had over 400 people, all Indians, and that is out of the city. Last night I've been to a wake in Patentia, Wales. That wake had over 300 Indian people. You know, I am a Hindu priest for the past 19 years. A JP, Commissioner of Oath, a Marja officer. I had served in this capacity before and still serving in this capacity as a Hindu priest. And I work from my desk, my temple, and reach all different ethnicity. Um, I can say this much to you: majority of my supporters are Indians who I go to their home and do their religious functions. Still have me as the priest, and when I don't answer my phone and take their calls to book the religious work, to give them the right date and time, you definitely I will get abusing out of this world, right? So I still have my followers. I still practice pandit, because if I wasn't practicing my panditai duty, I couldn't survive, because the mayorship don't give you a salary. You only get $150,000 here sitting in this here Guyana dollar, yeah. So no benefits. So that money don't even reach my house. That money I just be giving comrades, helping doing different charitable work. So even wasn't my little job on the side, I couldn't survive. And these are things in that the laws need to be changed. So coming back to the question you asked, so I'm welcome anywhere. I can go anywhere in this country. I've been to Bartica, I've been to Region 6 as a priest. I've been all over. Right now, a gentleman, I do his religious work every year in Trinidad, ringing down this phone. Pandit, when you will be coming? I booked it for next month. I said, look, next month I will settle everything. We will get everything done. So I have people in the diaspora, New York, Aruba, all these little countries, I just go to do religious functions. I'm well known. I am not no individual who is in a back seat and who try to stay quiet. No, I got a big mouth, and I like to speak on injustice and on democratic decision that government and other people tends to do in this nation. I even call out the Guyana Pandit Council, the Guyana Hindu Dharmic Sabha. You know, I'm a member, which I'm a member of the Guyana Pandit Council. They may not see eye to eye, but let me tell you something. That is how bold I am. And I will not take a step back on these things, and because I believe that when you're put in leadership position, you must serve the people with all respect and what is due to them.
Pandit, you mentioned just now that there are laws that have to be changed. Give us a couple of the laws that you think that if they're changed, we can have a better functioning municipality and local government.
Yes, why I make mention of that? We still follow the colonial or the British laws in the city. The British laws are still here, the bylaws are all still there. Let me touch quickly. I believe that the mayor and the deputy mayor should be given a salary and not a stipend, because in Trinidad, our neighboring country, you know, the mayors have been well paid there with benefits. In other countries, Caribbean countries, Jamaica, same thing. The mayor in Kingston, he is a senator as well, while being the mayor, right? He's a senator while being the mayor, so he also been well paid. These jobs, this elected office is not an office of self-service, or selfless service. Sorry, it's a pressuring job. It take a lot out to you, and similarly, like the president and all the ministers, they get over $1 million a month. I'm not saying I should get $1 million a month, but something comprehensive should put forward, not only for Georgetown municipality, all the municipality in this country, all of them should be given, all mayors and deputies may should give a salary, and rightfully their concession, which is due to them, is overbearing, overlong due to them, their concession, and a benefit when they demit office. The length of mayorship should extend. The mayorship in our country is only 1 year. It should be for the period from the local government election to the end of local government election. So a mayor cannot exercise his vision within a year. He or she cannot do that. So these are things need to revise, reviewed. The laws to employ staff, the town clerk of the municipality should not be employed by government. There's an elected council. The council should have that role to elect or employ the town clerk, whoever suit or qualified for that position. You know, the government shouldn't be appointed the town clerk and appoint the city engineer, appoint treasurer. No, therefore the elected council don't have a function, because you got a parallel council, which is a local government commission, doing all of this duty. What is the elected council purpose? And this is only happening here in Guyana. Not one of our Caribbean country this law exists. Not one. So when the Attorney General want to talk about laws and facts and all these things, they're created in law for the PPP to be in office and to take control for even the grassroots, the root of a grass. You understand what I meant about that, right?
Yes.
The people life, what they cook in the kitchen, right? That is what the PPP is doing. They're creating commission, they're creating parallel bodies to take control of these things, and that should not be allowed in the National Assembly. Any acts and any laws should be passed in that assembly should be voted on a 2/3 majority, not a one seat, majority, a two-third. And those things, um, Dr. Hines, I as a young politician wish to see and wish to change. Appointment of judges should not be done by the president and a commission. No, it should be a two-third vote in parliament. You know, these things are democratic for a nation like this. And when we have a commission and the president doing this thing independently, it is dangerous for democracy. It is dangerous because you can see that the court and all these things sometimes take sides. Biased decision. Look what we are seeing right now with a sitting minister, right? A sitting minister. I read an article today in the Kaichur paper where one man said, and this gentleman here has to be a foolish gentleman who make mention of what you want to do, the president to do. If 10 ministers of government committed or alleged allegation towards them, if the president should fire all 10. Yes, the president should fire all 10 until the investigation finish. Not to be paid by taxpayer money. Not to be paid still by taxpayer money, $1 million something, and all your allowances and so still be paid to you. If allegation made to 10 ministers in government, you must, and the president shall fire them immediately until the investigation finish. And then when the investigation finish, and if you find yourself innocent, you've been hired back as a minister, you've been appointed back. But while we said take leave, and in the law state nothing about leave for any minister. Is either appointment be revoked or you resigned. No minister don't get leave from government. So these are things need to be changed in our system. People need to be more educated on the constitution of this country, the laws of this country. So people like Anil Nandalal come before you and me. We are not being fooled and carried away by this kind of English language. We must know what is Abi and Ayo. You must know this Creolese as well. You must know to get to the grassroots people. If you don't know to speak to the grassroots, they would not understand because of the government official carry all this fancy language to them. Oh, this man brilliant, this man bright. We believe in him. And that's why I stick to who I am. I love to talk my Creolese. I love to talk my grassroots language to my people because I believe my message as a leader will get to them and they will understand what I am saying to them.
Mayor Ubraj Narine. Mayor, a lot has been said about the recent local government election. The PPP is boasting that it has made inroads into Georgetown and other municipalities. Do you share that interpretation of what happened a couple of weeks ago?
Let me say this, Dr. Hines. I want to be clear. Many people ask me about this result, and so even Freddie Kisun asked me, but I put those things to the leadership of the party. But this is my personal view. My personal view on this election is that the PPP had used state resources from Region 1 to Region 10 to do their campaigning, which we have seen. The vehicles of the RDC, the NDC, monies, cash grant, all these things was given to people to vote and to work. And I can say this much. There are people in the PPP reached out to me and say that in Manripo, they were given and set up booths under people bottom house and give them the cash grant, the 250 cash grant. You know, and this is part of bribery, a part of buying votes. This is what the PP had done. I don't know if you can hear me, Dr. Hines.
sorry. I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you. I'm not
And
hearing you now. Yes, yes, we're hearing you.
you hear
Yes,
good.
yes.
The PPP had set up booth or team in Manripo and Stronghold area in Region 2, where they give people 250 cash grant, 250,000 cash grants and so on. The school cash grant, school even not closed yet, and they don't get the cash grant. Right? Which store in Regent Street got school thing at this point of time? It's all about bribery. Now, on the next hand, the APNU, which is my party, is a part of the APNP, a member of the People's National Congress Reform, which that party is a member of the APNU, the coalition. The APNU, what had happened in the APNU, there are many people who are not satisfied at this point of time with the party. And they decided not to come out. That is my personal view. They decided not to come out to vote. And who came out to vote is who we do our groundwork on. So when PPP said yes, they get inroads in some of these strongholds of the PNC strongholds. I would not buy that. I would rather say that we as a political party, APNU, we have to do more groundwork. And I said this before, we have to do more groundwork. I would never tell my people that we won the local government election. I wouldn't do that as mayor, because I have done my own calculation. We need to do more work because we had 21 seats on this city council. We reduced now to 19 seats on the city council, while the PPP gained 11 seats on the city council. And this is not to break your mind. We still regain the city. We still got control of the mayor and the deputy mayor chair of the city. But it's to tell you that we have to fix ourselves and we have to go out there and start campaigning for 2025 election, which I'm not blaming the PPP. They have started to do already. You can see today at the National Artichong Convention Center what took place there with residents from Georgetown. And Jack Dale got a mentality to persuade, to sell a news, fake news to people, persuade people, to intimidate people. He is qualified. He has a doctorate in that. And people must understand that. Don't listen to him. Look at his actions. He said he wouldn't attack vendors and bulldoze people home. Look what he had done in Linden. Look what they had done in Suzaik. Look what they had done in Mokka. Look what they had done on the Plaisance recently with vendors. So if they had really gained the city of Georgetown, the next day they will bulldoze the vendors at Starbrook Market and Border Market and all over the city. So we must understand the vice president to know. This man has an issue when it comes to state power. Without state power, the PPP cannot function. They cannot function without state power. And we must understand this as a nation.
Mayor Ubraj Narine being as candid as they can. Mayor, you didn't run again for the municipality, but you said early in the program that you will continue to serve the people. Are you staying in politics?
Oh yes, I will stay in politics. I will move now. I'm not subject to the city of Georgetown. I am subject to my large. So I will move from region 1 to 10, and I will listen to people concerned, and I will so highlight the concern as well to show the world what this government is doing with our resources, not resource, resources, bad management. We're supposed to be the wealthiest nation in the Caribbean. Our dollar is supposed to be the highest value dollar in this Caribbean. But our leaders that we have today that run in this country is selling away, giving away everything. Everything, all our resources are going away, and we are getting nothing, Dr. Hines. I have a mantra I always make mention of. While they are getting the sugar, we will continue to suck the salt. That is my
So,
mantra for the PP government.
mantra for the PPP government, Mayor Ubraj Narine, Pandit Ubraj Narine. Pandit, there are over 2,200 people on this live right now, and before the end of the night, 10 times that will be seeing this program. Anything that you want to leave them with, speak directly to the people of Guyana.
Dr. Hines, I want to say to the people of this country and the diaspora that we need to work together. We need to mobilize against dictatorship. We need to mobilize for these promises that the People's Progressive Party made while they were campaigning. And the public service must remember 50% salary increase. I was a member of the Guyana Defense Force. I was disembodied because I called out the president on the protests I had done at public hospital for those vendors. I was disembodied. I was a staff sergeant in the Guyana Defense Force. I want to tell the Defense Force, we can do much better for you. I want to tell the Guyanese Police Force, we can do much better for you. I want to tell the public servants, we can give you more than 50% increase. You deserve it, because there are ways that we can get it done because of all these resources. So let us not take the PPP for granted, where the propaganda, where one minister went and said it's a Photoshop. That was the mantra. They were campaigning 50%. Jack Deo make mention in Parliament. The president make mention in a debate in Parliament on it. Where is it today? They're fooling you. Leadership is about honesty. It's about loyalty to the people and not yourself. You are the power out there. And 2025 comes. You have to make that decision to change for a better life. A better system where the resources will be directed to you. I heard many people saying about renegotiating this oil and gas contract. I don't believe in that, Dr. Hines. I believe in a fair deal. Let us sit on the round table and have a fair deal of this oil and gas contract for the Guyanese people. And I defined what is, I would not go in depth. I'm currently writing an article, editorial on fair deal, how I defined it. And then I will speak on it. So we have work to do, my young people. The University of Guyana, you are not foolish students there. You're intelligent students. You're intelligent young people. And when you have a government like this trying to insult your intelligence, you must not take it easy. Young people need to stand up for the rights of this country. And if you don't do it, who else will do it? Who will do it for your children and grandchildren? And that is my passion, David, Dr. Hines. To get my young people to understand, to get my Indian people to understand, to get my African people to understand, and all other ethnicity, especially my indigenous brothers and sisters, what this shameful Minister Pauline Sukai went and gave them some bags to shut them out. That is not democracy. They need justice in their community. They need proper development in the rural area. Let us not focus on the local self-plane alone. And that is, I believe, is one of our political issue and problem we have. We focus too much on the low coastal plain. Go in the regions. Go to Port Kaituma. Go to Ridge. See the quality of health deliver the health system delivered there. It is poor. It is worse than the Palms. Go to these regions. Spread your wings and go. You will see the condition what Guyanese people are living, while the president of this country, the head of state, all respect you, saying a mantra of one damn Guyana, which he know for a fact is his cronies and friends and family benefiting at Freedom House of.
Thank you very much, my brother. It's been a pleasure talking with you, quite comprehensive. And, if it means anything, I just want you to know I have great and deep admiration for you. And I thank you for coming on to this program tonight and sharing perspectives and wisdom with us. Thank you very much, my brother.
Thank you, Dr. Hines, and all the viewers. Thank you.
And thank you. I really do mean it when I say that I do admire that brother. As I said, the test for me of real multiracial capacity is not just your defense of your own, is your defense when those who are not your natural constituency, when they are in trouble. And that Mayor Georgetown, Ubraj Narine, has demonstrated that. Our brother Albert Morgan was pulled in by the police, ostensibly for cybercrime. I looked at the statement that they said that he made. Apparently, this was identified by the ERC, and the ERC turned it over to the police. I'm going to deal with that tomorrow night. The ERC has written me and asked me to appear before them to tell them why a statement was made on my program that I did not condemn. I haven't gotten around to deal with the ERC yet, but tomorrow night I'm going to deal with this matter. And I think Brother Morgan is scheduled to go back to the police on Friday morning. They seem not to have found anything to charge him on, because the statement is what is that? If the ERC want to know about racism, they should come on here tonight. I notice you all are fighting with them more than normal tonight. And see the racial abuse that I get here every day, every night on this program. My brothers and sisters get on the other programs, they do the racial abuse, and the ERC is going to pick out Brother Morgan and turn him over to the police. Tomorrow, I think I'm going to get around to it. I'm going to call the ERC, and they're going to hear from me the length of my tongue, because they sparse people. They want to know about racism. Look at the racism. Look at the racial insult against me and others on this program, and you're going to pick out one brother. All right? Tomorrow night, I'm going to deal with that on our program. Most likely, once Brother Albert Morgan is up to it, he's going to be a guest on this program tomorrow night. So until tomorrow night, when we are going to deal with the ERC and its attempt to point fingers in one direction. Don't get me started, ERC. Don't get me started on this matter. That is not your job, to catch people and turn them over to the police. You will have to tell me what is racist about the statement that you are alleging this brother made. But anyhow, tomorrow night we're going to talk about that. I want to thank you all as usual for coming out tonight. That young brother, I'm going to try to go into Beirut tomorrow, if not tomorrow, the next day, but over the next couple of days, to go talk to people in there and to get a sense for myself what really happened to that young man in Beirut. So I'm going to try to get in there, probably with a couple of colleagues, and try to find out what's happening there on the ground. Until then, let's keep, let's keep, let's keep the torchlight. Let's continue to shine the light on this abuse by people in power of children. Let's continue to shine the light there. Our solidarity continues with the people of Plaisance, Sparendam, and of course those of you further up the East Coast. They're coming to you. You know, both Indian communities and African communities. You know, the people of BV, they're going to come to you all with a vengeance. Buxton, they're coming to you all. Paradise, Bachelor's Adventure, they're coming to you all. But for now, we stay and give solidarity with the people of Plaisance. I have been in contact with some of the leaders there in that area. So until tomorrow night, I want to say, as usual, love is the watchword, and that love is deep and abiding. Tomorrow night, back with you.